Hello, people. My name is Hala Omar, and I am a Gazan from Rafah city, displaced now in Khan Younis. And we are doing this record for Gaza Voices program in order to broadcast our voices as Gazan to the whole world. We are doing this episode with my friend Samah. So Samah, could you tell us more about yourself?
Yeah, I'm Samah Qauraea. I'm a 28 doctor, work in Khan Younis. And also I'm from Khan Younis. I work in Nasser Medical Hospital. Um, yeah, just it's,
Yes, actually we are colleagues. We're working in the same department in Nasser Medical Hospital, and also we were colleagues in mid school. Me and Samah knowing each other for more than 10 years, from the first year in mid school in 2013. Could we get to know more about your personal life, get to know more about you as a person, as a human?
so I am the middle child for my parents. Where my sister and brothers are married, and I am now at home with my parents. I am a family person. I love my nephews and niece. They are around me all the time, and I love my friends so much. So I enjoy this part of my life, being a family and a friend person. I also have so many hobbies. I like drawing and painting and singing. Yeah, and just like that.
And you love your work very much.
Yeah, I love my work so much. Yeah.
We want to talk about after 8 or maybe now 11 months since the beginning of the war. Can you tell us about your life before 7th October?
Yeah, I can hardly remember my old life actually.
Exactly.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, I think this is the case with most of us. We hardly to remember our life before 7th October because it has been too long.
Yeah.
It's almost a year. We are close to a year of a war, a year of non-human life.
Unfortunately.
So let us try with each other to remember how our life was, to remind each other. Let's begin with our daily routine, the simple daily routine, how we start our day and then how we close or finish the day.
Yeah. So I remember my first thing in the morning when the alarm my alarm work. So I wake up from my own bed, my cozy bed, and then I would go to my own bathroom and then go to the hospital, trying to the kitchen, trying to prepare the morning coffee, and then I start to prepare for the work. I go out and I wait for a taxi and I go to the hospital and I attend my morning meeting, which I was enjoying a lot. Our daily morning doctor meeting, and then go to rounds and see patients, and the day end about 2 p.m. After that, I would go out with my friends I have so many options for lunch. I have so many options for places to go, restaurants. Sometimes we prefer to go to a restaurant in the downtown. Sometimes we prefer to go to the beach. And like that, I go home at about 6 p.m. and and sit with my family, drinking a tea with my parents and my brothers and nephews. I enjoy this part very much, and I miss everything in my old life. I sometimes also have, and was my hardest part of the day, when I start to prepare myself for a lecture or for an exam in the next day. Was my hard time.
Yeah, was our past nightmare.
Yeah,
yes,
yeah.
When we have exam, this is the worst thing ever.
Yeah. The exam was the nightmare.
Yeah.
My nightmare.
This was the worst thing in our life.
Yeah.
Actually, I remember one of your lectures you used to present at the morning meeting. It was about hypertension, and it was a great. I remember that day very good.
Yeah.
It was a good lecture, and everyone liked it.
Thank you.
Another thing, remember when we used to go to Gaza City?
Yeah.
When we meet,
oh my
when we
God.
meet together. When we gather,
these times so much.
Yes, we have friends from Gaza and from North.
Yeah,
from mid school, and Malak from
each month.
Rafah. Yeah, every month we had like a meeting. We gathering
in Al-Baqa
in a cafeteria at the beach, in a cafe in the beach in Gaza City.
And bring the lunch
from a restaurant. and we used to get confused which restaurant we will order food from.
Italiano or Balmera, and this is a confusion. It makes us confused.
And then after the lunch, we used to walk all the way at the beach side, then to go downtown Gaza in the Rimal,
Rimal
Street.
Very beautiful.
Yes.
You found everything there.
Remember Knafa Nabulsiya?
Yeah, Knafa Nabulsiya.
What was the name?
Abu
Saud. Yeah, that's Abu Saud. This is the best Knafa Nabulsiya in Gaza Strip ever. Yeah, we
Misko Ambar ice cream.
Yes, and
Kazim ice cream.
Yes.
We didn't deprive ourselves from anything.
Capital
This was our life.
Yes. Those were happy times.
Our precious moment, actually.
Yes. This journey was like a regular thing. We used to have it once or twice or maybe 3 times a month. Now it's like a miracle to have it another day, another time.
It's like a dream.
Yeah, it's like a dream. To go to Gaza City, this is by itself is just a dream. No one can cross the border from the south to the north.
Yeah.
We
don't know the future of that.
Yes, maybe we don't get to see Gaza or visit Gaza
again.
We don't know that.
Very hard. The places also. These places we talk about, it's no longer exist.
Yes, it's no longer. It's demolished.
The owners of
it's demolished or destroyed.
The owner, they are metered.
Yeah. Even the streets, the whole street, the neighborhood, the Rimal neighborhood are completely destroyed.
Yeah.
You can't even recognize these streets anymore. So what about our life now?
What about our life now?
I don't know. I think our life now is can't be called alive. Yeah, you agree?
It's like a ghost. It's not alive. It's like
a nightmare.
Yeah, a nightmare. It's all about surviving. Like you feel like you are threatened all the time.
I remember a series I watched before the war. It's called Walking Dead. Yeah, it's about apocalypse, yeah, end of the world, and people. It's about disease attacking people, make them die, then arise again as a monster and feeding on human flesh.
Yeah.
Then it's all about surviving in that series. How people survive by their own. There's no governments, there is no societies, there is no organization. It's all about their own. I feel like it's hit me a lot. I feel like we are in our version of Walking Dead.
Yeah.
It's all about surviving. It's a surviving mode. You can't think about anything else except of surviving another day. Yeah?
I agree with you a lot. I feel like our life now, it's very. If you ask any Gazans in the street, they would tell you they are like in some series.
Yeah.
Like all the events, it's gonna be true. It's like a series. It's like you watch a series and you just live in it. And sometimes you think every moment in the series you will feel someday.
Yeah. You will try.
Every hard
yeah.
time your neighbor face or someone you know face, it
Yeah.
may come to you, and it's very easy to come to you, and this is very terrifying.
You mean we are waiting for our turn in the
Yeah,
movie?
yeah, it's like a turn in the movie. Yeah.
Yeah, our turn. Another thing, it's like a paradox. We know each other for more than 10 years, and before the war, we never visit each other's homes.
Yeah.
I never get to know your family. Maybe
Yeah.
I saw your mother once or twice from far. I didn't get to know her well. And you also didn't get to visit me in Rafah. It was like a distance between, she's in Khan Younis and I'm in Rafah, and it's far, and
it's far, and a long road, and
yes.
multiple taxis I have to
Yes.
get. So.
But how is everything changed now? Samah was living in Khan Younis. Then she forcibly displaced in Rafah.
Yeah.
That's in February or the last days of January, yeah?
Yeah.
When-
27.
Yes, when we came to my home for the first time, when she get to know my family, my mother and my niece and my sister and my brother. When she slept over in my house. When
So many
my mother
times.
make
Lunch.
us a lunch, a very her favorite
I
food,
sleep
like
in-
fried
I
chicken.
I sleep in your bed.
Yes,
and
we sharing same bed, same
Yeah.
food, and
same
everything.
clothes.
Yeah, we were. It's like she's part of my family. I feel
Yeah.
that time, and the same thing happened to me. Yes, when
Our day parts become like
like
shared all the
yeah,
time.
common. Yeah, it's a common thing. The same thing happened with me. Yes, happened with me when I displaced from Rafah. I remember before leaving Rafah, when the imminent invasion of Rafah, the news about there's an invasion, and I was so terrifying of leaving my home. And I remember calling you. So I told you about if you can afford me a tent to live in if we displace from Rafah. Then you tell me something. This is I will never forget in my whole life. You told me you can come, you and your mother and your sister.
Yeah, to my house.
To my house.
Yeah.
you can get me a room in your house and we can live together.
Yeah.
Honestly, that moment I feel like I'm the luckiest person on earth. In the middle of this suffering, I feel like I'm the most lucky person in the whole world to having such a friend. Not a friend, your family.
And
actually.
you deserve it. This is because you deserve it.
So how it feels now after 10 how it feels now after 10 or 11 months of war? How you can describe your feeling now?
It's a very hard feeling. Like everything have changed. This is now our new life. This is now the life with no features in prospect in our new life.
Like you are facing the unknown.
Yeah, the unknown, and like this situation, this madness, this mad situation we live in. We have to face every day, and there is no solution for it. This make me crazy actually, all the time, and you keep thinking about it. You keep just catching any hope for the solution. Your future is not present. You cannot have a vision for your future.
And you have no control about anything in
I
your
have
life.
no control about anything happening.
So after 8 or maybe 11 months since the beginning of the war, how it feels now? How would you describe your life now? The situation in the world, your feelings, your life.
It's like a horrifying life. So you have no control about anything in your life. It's all about surviving. You live moment by moment. Everything you can just lose in just 1 second. You see it in front of your eyes every day. The future, there is no prospect about your future. Your dreams and every plan you have made in your old life, like this is not happening now. Your dreams put in some shelf or something. It's in the past, and now you have no vision for the future. Every moment you live now, it's unknown. We live in the unknown.
Yeah, we are facing the unknown.
Yeah,
and
we are facing the unknown actually.
And I think the most terrifying thing in the world is the unknown.
Yeah, and we live it right now. Every person in Gaza.
Yes. Do you think the war in the start is different now, in the first month of the war? There's a difference from the late months of the war?
Maybe in the beginning of the war, we have a recurrent war in Gaza.
Yes.
That's where went just for 1 month or maybe 2 months.
Yeah, 2014 was the longest.
So the first month in this war, we have some hope.
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
We live in hope that this can
will
be
end
end
soon.
and can be
It will end soon, yeah.
Salute, there's hope. Yeah, you live in hope. So many months, but after 11 months, no, we actually totally lost hope.
Yeah, we
And
feel
this
like
is a very hard problem, and
Yeah.
a very something that so deep in your emotions and your personal life. Like,
yeah, we feel like this war is endless.
yeah, this war is endless, and this situation
It will never
can
end.
be continued. Like this,
Yeah, at the same time,
this madness
this could-
keep happening. Yeah.
Yeah, we don't know how this will continue, and at the same time, we don't know how this could finish.
Yeah.
And who could finish it. and how it could be finished. Yes,
Like we lost hope
in everyone.
in everyone who can solve this problem.
Yeah, we can solve this problem. Yeah.
Solve this problem. Yeah, we lost hope. Yeah. So in the first month, like as we faced so many wars, there was a hope to this situation to be solved, and there was we used every day. We were hoping it to end by some truce or some
Agreement,
agreement between both sides.
We thought that it's like the
old wars.
the previous wars, of the previous attacks of Gaza, 2014, 2011. We thought that we are facing something alike.
So we have hope actually in the beginning, despite the brutal beginning of it. And
the brutal bombardment
and mass bombardment.
Mass casualties, yes.
And after all that time, I see that the hope, no, there is no hope anymore. So day by day, we feel disappointed by every. Now after all this time, we feel like the world have failed us so many times. Despite the negotiation, despite the protests, there is a conscious, like the conscious voice of the people, United Nations, human rights, all of this, like it's a lie. We feel like we have been failed down so many times by the war. It's like we are living in a lie about human lives. Like we don't have just the right to live. Like we just want to live, just want to live safely, and we want the right to live. And we can't get this right.
No, it hits.
And there's something weird happening here, like the human. The Gazan people have like this weird coping mechanism, like I trying to explain how people just continue here their life with minimal things they can have. They continue to work, they continue to live and have families and married and having children, and like they just like this situation, this insane situation we face. This is the only coping mechanism they have.
Yes,
they just want to continue to have
like
a normal life despite everything they face. This is not a normal situation we face every day.
Yeah, it's like this is their own coping mechanism. Yeah. Maybe some people can call it resistance or resilience.
Yeah, some people call it
or some people can call it coping mechanism.
Yeah,
I see it like it's the. I see it like the survival instinct.
Yeah,
you know? Because a human being in any situation you put a human being in, all he would think about is how to survive one day more. This is the instinct which is built deeply in our mind and in our bodies.
And this is what happened when
this is what's happening now. Yeah,
face the killing and the chasing situation all the time.
Yeah,
this is the only thing you can do.
Yes,
after all this time, you have
and
to
we
continue
can't,
your life,
and no one can blame us for that.
No one can blame us actually.
Yes,
no one have the right to blame us.
No one have the right to blame us. Yes. So let us talk about where we are now and why we are here now. Actually, we are in Nasser Medical Complex. We're recording this episode in our office, doctor office, because it's the only place we could find to be
Quiet.
calm, to be just quiet a bit, not totally quiet, but just quiet a bit to record this episode, because outside, everywhere outside
Crowded.
this office is just a
crowded
noise
place.
and crowded people everywhere, because like a million people are just stuck in Khan Younis city.
Yeah, and we face the displacement situation. Like every day, there is a new people who are displaced. Like just right now, there is new
Yeah.
areas in Khan Younis, which are
evacuation blocks.
Yeah.
Yes, they are playing with the Israeli army are like playing with us the cat and mouse.
Yeah.
They divided the Gaza into blocks, and every day and every other day they just classify these blocks are humanitarian and safe, and these blocks are not safe anymore. Then after a few days they just reclassify it again.
Narrowing, actually, they kept
narrowing the humanitarian area. Yes, and people are just going displaced out of their homes and then just get back. They are doing this multiple times.
They deprive us from our moment of they like deprive us from any causing moment we can have. Each moment, each day we have a displacement. It's not.
So what Nasser is representing to you before the war, now, and what it was representing for you before the war?
Like I want to ask you this question.
Yeah. So what Nasser Hospital represented to you in the past, and what it was and what it's representing to you now?
I actually want to ask you this question since you are living here all the time.
Actually, before the war, Nasser was just a place of work where I work, where I see my colleagues, and we are talking about and discussing about patients and cases.
Yeah.
And that's all. But actually now Nasser Hospital is like, it's a shelter for me. It's like home. I spend 24 hours in Nasser Hospital. I lived here, I sleep here,
and the doctor office.
I wake up in the morning here, I get shower here, I prepare food here. Everything in my daily life. Yes, get lunch. Yes, get lunch here. I do everything here. It's Nasser feels like home. And you also lived here.
Yeah, I remember that. Every day when I take it as a shelter here, I would think like, who could imagine I would live in a hospital 24 hours just like it was my home. I would never imagine, no one can ever tell like this would happen. And now, after all this time, after just more time, it's like the usual thing to do of day.
Yes.
To live here.
Yeah.
This is our new life.
You spent most of December and January here in Nasser. Yes, you lived here during the
military of Khan Younis.
Yes, during the military operation in Khan Younis. You were one of the doctors who lost in the hospital for the last minute. Yes. Can you tell us about that experience and about those days?
Yeah, like everyone I know in my family and my friends, like they telling me you should get out of Nasser, it will be sieged soon, and Khan Younis evacuation it's coming near Nasser day by day. You are in a risky situation, you have to go out. But all the time I feel like I'm responsible for these patients and the people here who are just staying in Khan Younis. like Nasser Complex Hospital
Was the shelter.
was my shelter, yeah.
And their shelter too.
And their shelter too. And there was some areas in Khan Younis not evacuated yet. And Khan Younis actually one of the main hospital, Nasser Complex Hospital, actually one of the major hospital in the north.
In the south.
In the south. Yeah, like in the European, there's Gaza Hospital, and there's Nasser Hospital.
The two main.
Yeah, Rafah has no major hospital.
Yes.
So it was working all the time, but there was shortage in doctors and equipment.
And staff. Yeah.
Yeah, and the staff. So I feel like responsible.
Yes.
Yeah, I tried
Even
so
if
many
this-
times just to leave, but actually I can't. I just every time I trying to leave, like I see the patient, and sometimes family of the patient say that I am the only hope, and I can't leave the hospital. There's some patient on oxygen. There's some patient need dialysis. There's some patients with a risky situation like hyperkalemia and CVAs, and you cannot just leave
them alone.
Yeah.
Even if that means risking your life.
Yeah, no.
And putting your life in a danger. You actually put your life in a danger when you last for the last minute.
Yeah.
And when they invade the hospital, they first, the IDF first warned Nasser Medical Complex to evacuate.
Yeah.
Before they invaded. We, at that time, we can't believe that they will invade Nasser Medical Complex.
We were denying
denying that.
They wouldn't do it.
Yes.
Despite they have hit hospitals so many times.
Yes.
But it's like it's Nasser Complex. It's a major hospital. No, they cannot invade it. But they
they won't live, or they won't let the south without a hospital, without a medical care.
Yeah.
But they did it.
Yeah, they did it.
They did it. And you get out through the, what's it called, a humanitarian
what
corridor.
they called a humanitarian corridor.
Yeah.
Which wasn't a humanitarian at all. So I remember the moment very well. It was just one of the scariest moments ever. I remember they tried to be us in a line in the corridor by shooting above our heads and telling us bad words and telling us to keep in a lines. And they were just shooting above our heads, and we was so terrifying. We have so many women and children and elderly people. Like, why shooting above our heads? There's no need for that.
Yes.
It's just was a risky moment that I feel like I felt like my life is about to end.
They just like to torture us in any way.
Yeah. I see the army. I see the weapons. I see
I remember you told me that the soldiers enjoying torturing people.
He was telling jokes
them.
actually.
Yeah.
Sometimes they were telling jokes about us
and
telling us this is what your government have made. This is what your government wants you to face, and Hamas and
yes,
like that.
I think this is a very difficult situation you faced.
I actually. It was a very hard moment.
Yes. And the arresting they made.
Yeah, they after that
they arrest so many
corridor
colleagues.
humanitarian. They have arrested so many nurses and doctors in this humanitarian corridor. Like, why they would do that? Why would you take a nurse who actually spent all his time in just a hospital?
Yes.
And so many, there's some doctors that we don't have any news about until now. Since February and since January and February, we don't know anything about them.
Yeah.
Some of our colleagues sent free recently.
And even patients. I remember
one
of dialysis patients. Yes, one of the dialysis patients
It's a weird thing. What would a
has
dialysis
been
patient
arrested.
would?
Yes.
Yeah. What
And
would
he's in
threaten?
jail in the prison, in the Israeli prisons.
It's a
I
weird
don't
thing.
know what. Yes, it's very insane.
Weird, yeah.
It's very weird, very insane. So I think this is a difficult question, and you feel free if you don't want to answer it. But did you lose anyone in this war? Any
Yeah.
dear person?
So I lost my best friend at the beginning of the war, just at the beginning of the war, about maybe the third or the fourth week
yeah.
in the war. It's just very hard.
Our
and
colleague,
you to receive.
our colleague Inas.
Yeah, our colleague Ines. I used to work with her for about 1.5 year and 1 and 8 months in the ER, like all the time.
All the shifts.
All the shifts I
you
just
were
take
together.
with Ines. Everyone know me and her, Samah and Ines, Samah and Ines.
Together.
Yeah, and I call it like every other day. And one day I just received
She was pregnant,
face-
yeah?
Yeah, she was pregnant in her sixth month, and like I hear that she died, and her son, who is about 3 years old, Hassan, she were hugging him when they both get killed by the IDF bomb, and lost all her family-in-law with her, died, and her husband Ali become a paraplegic patient. So it's a very hard thing to receive and to live with, and it's not fair. It's a not fair life when Ines is dead. I think it's not fair.
It's not for our colleague, yes, Ali, who lost her,
and Ali,
who lost all of his family and severely injured and become paraplegic.
He is
It's a very
orthopedic
tragic,
doctor
yes.
who
Yes.
recently were in the where his
Finished his
residency
yes,
were,
yeah.
Finished.
It's very sad. Did you try to leave Gaza in the war?
Leaving Gaza is actually a very hard decision, and leaving it also it's need a long thinking.
Yeah.
To me, it's need a lot of thinking and planning, and like it's not a very easy, not in decision, or even if you make the decision, it's not easy
To take.
to take. Yeah.
Yeah.
What about you? It's a long
Actually,
story.
I tried.
Yeah.
I tried, me and my family, but it was difficult process. It's a very difficult and complicated process. The coordination fees by the Egyptian intelligence. Me and my family, it will cost a fortune. You know, like $20,000 or $25,000. I didn't have this amount of money.
And your family,
and of course I wouldn't get out by myself and leaving my family in the war. This can't be done.
Yeah.
For me, this is something I wouldn't do.
You feel like
In any
you are in a
case.
prison.
Yeah, you like
cannot
yes,
leave.
you are trapped. You can't leave. You can't stay. You can't live. You can't go out.
Can't
you
do anything.
Yes,
You know,
it's-
a fortune. You need a fortune to live.
yes.
Like each person leave the
Like $5,000 each.
to live. Yeah, $5,000 to live for the one person.
Remember when
This is,
yes. وقف خلص احنا كثير في so let us talk about another aspect of this brutal war against Palestinians. which is the famine. The famine in the north and the scarcity of food in the south. How was your experience in that phase?
So, since the beginning of the war, the Ma'bar
Rafah crossing,
Rafah crossing were closed. The only source for food were closed, and there were the available amounts of foods, goods, eating resources were just keep declining with the progressing of the war. So at the end, this moment everyone is scared happened. There was no fresh food in the market. There were no food except the aids, the cans.
Canned
food. There was several months in the war, like about 6 months. The only food the Gaza
we can have, yes, is the
we
canned
can
food.
have is canned food. We cannot have fruits. Vegetables are very expensive and very rare to find in the market. The meat and the meat source of food was like there is no meat source in the food in the market.
Yeah, no
Like,
meat, no poultry, no fish.
We live in this situation for several months, for about 6 months, or even
More.
6 months in this situation. Like I am as a doctor, I face so many cases with malnutrition.
Especially in children,
in children and in adults.
Elderly,
This is very weird in adults to have like the system, the multi-organ failure and multi-organ shut down just because of malnutrition and hypoalbuminemia and hypoproteinemia.
Yes.
This was a very hard thing to face, and like everything is very expensive. When something is available, it's very expensive.
It's like
not all the families can afford. Only the rich family can afford to buy foods from the market.
Yes, the thing which was cost $1, for example, before the war, after the war, it's like $10.
Yeah.
Yes, this
like,
is and this is a reality. Yes.
Of red meat.
Yes.
A kilo of red meat
was like
before the
50
war.
shekel before the war.
50 shekel.
Like now it's 150 or 200 shekel. Yeah. If we manage to find. Yeah.
And this is.
I remember in
also
Ramadan.
the
I remember
water.
in Ramadan we have a traditional dessert called Qauraea.
Yes.
And it was very difficult to prepare this Ramadan because it needs sugar, and there is no sugar at that time.
Like in all the Ramadan month, like we made it just 2 times.
Yes.
Or 3 times.
We used to have it every day
This
after
is
the iftar.
a usual
Yes,
and a very
the
cheap
sugar
and very sweet, and like it's a usual dish in the table in Ramadan.
Yeah, the kilo of sugar in Ramadan cost like
remember
80.
It reaches 80 shekel one day.
Yes, like 35 or $40.
Yeah.
This for kilo of sugar, which was a disaster.
Yeah.
Also the water, they cut off the Israeli. We have a water supply comes from Israel. They cut it off at the beginning of the war. I remember I remember the Israeli defense minister called us animals, called us savages, and we should cut out of water, electricity, and be treated like animals.
Yeah.
So they cut off water. There was no water, no electricity, no fuels, no
And the infrastructure of
no
each town we
taxis,
have
no.
now.
Yeah.
There is no infrastructure for water.
Yes.
Like
They destroy
today,
it. Yes.
today,
People have their own wells.
yeah, they like people. They have their own ways to get water. إيش يعني بيار؟
Yeah. We talk about that people have digging wells.
Yeah, it's like the old traditional way to get water. There is no infrastructure. Each house like carrying bottles and gallons of water, and like walking on the stairs and filling the tanks.
And
like
you should
There's no
rationalize
electricity.
this amount of water.
Yeah, and you have to use like the minimum amount of water in doing everything. This is a huge issue we live. And like the water for drinking, wow, it's very hard to get. Like you just have one gallon
A day?
to fill, and you cannot just have more amount. It's very hard to get more amount than that.
Yeah.
And some people are buying the water used for cleaning, not by wheels. There are some people
Just
are
buy it,
lucky
yeah.
to
By
have wheels,
trucks.
but other people are not lucky. There's no wheels in their own towns, so they have to buy. They have to buy the water with very expensive cost.
Do you feel like you are separated from the whole world? Like you are living in a town or in a country, isolated?
Yeah.
Do you keep up what's happening in the outside world? What like the big events happening in the world now? What is called the American selections, the Olympics, the what, blah blah blah, etc.
No, actually, I feel so isolated, and every Gazan feels so isolated. We like have more things occupying our minds.
What occupies your mind
Like
these days?
this surviving mood, and there's the water, the food, the running out, the displacement, the places, bombing happening here, bombing happening there. Like where's the IDF now? Where's the army now? This is occupying my mind. I don't know a lot about the outside world. And don't forget the internet connection, which were very hard in the war.
Very hard to get.
Yeah.
I actually stopped very long time ago, especially since the moment I left Rafah. In middle of May, I stopped keeping up what's happening in the world, or following the news.
Yeah.
Because I feel this world is not the world issues, the world problems, the world events. It's not for me. It's for the other people, for the other countries.
Yeah, like when you see the Olympics, it's a very weird thing you feel.
Yes,
like the world is just keeping going up.
Yes,
keeping going, and despite it's not our problem. I can't just call it our problem. I think it's a human problem. It's a human problem. It's not normal to watch such brutal thing happening to other human beings, and just watching like this, and sometimes you don't watch. You continue to your life and do Olympics, do elections, do
whatever you want in your life, and and our life has stopped long time ago.
Yeah, it's not. I don't think it's about us. It's not our life. It's just a human crisis happening in the world right now.
Yes.
It should
You feel like the whole world should have stopped with us.
Yeah,
Stopped, like
yeah.
our life has stopped. Why does the world continue his life like nothing happening
Yeah.
here? Like
As I said,
as I
don't
told you,
think
I
it's
feel
not-
like we're like a different different kind. Like
exactly.
like they are human and we are
they
not.
I feel the world treating us like we are other kind or other. We are
Yeah.
not like a human. We are not a human like them.
Yeah.
I won't forgive myself if I know that a human live like the life I live today, and a human face
And I didn't.
the bombing and the killing and the shooting we face every day, and I am just seeing
Keep shut.
or just make my head to other look
Turn,
at
yes.
turn my head to
Turn
other
my eyes,
side.
yeah.
No, I wouldn't forgive myself.
And I wouldn't respect myself either.
Yeah.
Yes. So what about as we are a doctor, so I think we should talk a little more about the problems in the medical field and the problems we are facing like as a doctors. So what do you think? What the medical issues in general the medical field suffer from, and what especially for you as a person, as in your experience, in personal experience, what are the problems you have faced? So what are the problems the medical field is facing now and has been facing during the war in general, and what is your special experience, your personal experience as a doctor? What's the problem you're facing and you have faced in your work?
So I remember the beginning of the war that there was no shrinkage in transportation. I used to go back and forth on foot about 1 hour walking to the hospital. Actually, it was a risky thing to do. It was very risky. I remember that I used to see my colleagues walking on the street from their homes, which is it was a funny thing to see. Right now, I know every one of my colleagues who live in my town or in a next town to me, going to hospital. I know where are their homes, or where are
where
they
they
coming
visit you.
from.
Exactly.
This was an issue. It's a risky thing to do, to walk
It's
in
a 1
war.
hour into and 1 hour back.
It's a 1 hour into and 1 hour back to hospital.
I remember in the first months of the war, the streets were empty. People are afraid to get out or to go for long walks.
I remember that when I going to work. I remember I used to walk in the streets alone. Like you would see just your colleagues or someone who work in hospital, or the school shut down, the workplaces, the people shut down, the market shut down. It was an obvious thing. So in my hospital at the beginning of the war, so many doctors, there were a scarcity and shrinkage in doctors. So many displaced, so many flee out. Some were dead and some were captured.
Some doctors choose to work in the nearest hospitals. Like me.
The nearest
I'm
hospital
from Rafah.
to the house, or
Yes,
the place.
I'm from Rafah, and before the war I used to work in Nasser, in Khan Younis. So I can't in that time I can't get every day from Rafah to Khan Younis. It's a very long and risky road, and transportation are not affordable. So I choose to work in the hospital nearby my house, which is called Al Emirati Hospital in Tel Sultan. And so many doctors do the same. But I used to call you the courageous doctor because you keep doing what you do
Yeah,
every day.
I felt responsibility because I'm from Khan Younis, and Nasser in Khan Younis. So who would go to the hospital? Who would see the patients of Khan Younis or the patient of this area, new
Yeah.
area, if I wouldn't do that?
Yeah,
Like it's a responsibility.
of course.
Yeah. Also, there's so many issues since the beginning of the war. It's the medication, the medicines. There was a shortage in the medicine, and since the beginning of the war, and still happening. Like after all this time, there's still a shrinkage in medicine.
And
The load of
and
the
in
patient.
equipment, yes.
And equipment, yeah, and the sterility,
investigation in the
infection
labs,
control,
the-
and investigation of the labs, like the process we used to do, and the approach to patient, like in the labs, and the medication we used to do before the war, the approach,
was limited.
which was limited.
Yeah, it's even more limited
yeah,
now.
it was limited, but now is there's
more and
you
more.
only have two investigations, TBC and chemistry.
Yes,
You don't have other options.
yes.
Like we do a lot
the
of
basic.
the basic, and we do face a lot of struggles,
Yes.
and make choices like no a doctor in a world can face and do.
Yes.
It's like put a pressure in a doctor.
Yes, huge
But
pressure.
equally,
Yes.
you
It's got a
cannot
huge pressure on doctors.
yeah, you cannot do other thing. You don't have options. You don't.
Yes.
You only have one option, and you cannot.
You have to practice medicine in these very limited resources.
Yeah.
And these very bad and hard conditions. And in these very depressed situation. Like you, a doctor, you're just not a doctor. You're a human after all. And you
Yeah.
have a family, and you have your issues, and you have your
every
your
one of
own-
us.
your
Every
own-
one of us
your-
have his own issues.
your own fears, your own depression, your own. Sometimes you are very depressed even to go to
and
work.
burned out. Yeah.
And yes, and burned out to see to work, to see any patients.
There's something here. That's the environment of hospital we used to live before the war. It's not like now. It's this environment we live now is not a usual or it's
and
not
it's
a
not
usual
suitable.
picture of hospital.
Yes.
So in the beginning of the war, I remember that the hospital was crowded by
Refugees,
patients.
slaves,
That is that the load of patients was double.
Or
We
even
are- we-
tripled.
we run out of beds. We run out of oxygen sources.
Patients were in corridors.
Like you can imagine that a patient die just because a shortage of oxygen source.
Oh my
Like
God.
there's no oxygen source in a wall. This is the simplest right to a human,
We
a
are
patient.
not talking about a mechanical ventilation or invasive
No,
ventilation.
we are not
just
about
oxygen
ICU
therapy.
bed. We are
Just
talking
oxygen.
about a ward bed. We
Yeah,
are talking
a ward, a regular ward.
An oxygen therapy, like it's like ABC in
In medicine,
medicine,
yeah.
in hospitals. We also faced a problem of displaced people. These people who were displaced from their areas by the army. Their new shelter
Taking
was
the
the hospital.
Yeah, taking
Because
hospital
there is no
shelter,
other
shelter.
place prepared with water or electricity. There was no camps prepared or any area prepared with
And they think
water
that the hospital
or,
is safe.
or toilets, for example, or bathrooms. The hospital and safety, yeah, there is
Yeah.
no safe place. The hospital is the only safe place, and the only place who offer water for
Yeah.
them. So this is their only place they have, and we here in hospital have to face this problem.
Yeah.
And this bring a new problem. There's nothing called infection control right now. We cannot practice infection control
anymore. Yeah.
There's scarcity in disinfectant, sterility.
Even in alcohol gel, there is no.
You one day you
we
have
used
alcohol
to have
gel
alcohol gel in
where in every corner, in every
room.
bed. Yeah.
There is no alcohol gel.
Yeah.
So I saw by myself. I saw many patients died from infections.
Yeah.
Especially the
hepatitis
I work in
hepatitis A virus. Like we face so many spread out of hepatitis A virus.
Yes, and for me, I work in a nephrology department, so I saw a lot of end-stage patient disease are dying from infection in their axis because of the
sterility.
The sterility, yes, the sterility and the hygiene and the bad hygiene in hospitals and even
resistant organisms,
and even in their homes and in their tents.
Yeah, tents is actually tents here
tents,
in Gaza.
It just make a very make Gaza very epidemics. Yes, and epidemics for new organisms and new viruses.
And no one
knew it before.
Is caring about just like analyzing these new viruses or mutations in viruses we face. New skin infections and rashes. We like
we didn't see it before.
Face.
Yes, we didn't see it before. Just
like in Betigo we faced right now, and a few months ago, like every person in Gaza have in Betigo. And
it's not a regular in Betigo. We used to see it as before.
Like it's spreading all over. We used to say it in the face.
Yes.
Spreading all over right the body, now it's all over the body. Yeah, and there's something like the oncology patient here. The oncology patient. We used to have the Turkish hospital for oncology, which were demolished in the beginning of the war.
Yes.
And the oncology patient have to face this problem. They were displaced so many times from one hospital to another. They go to the Dar Salam hospital, and now in
they are deprived from chemo
medication. Yeah, there's no chemo medication. We have very limited chemotherapy. Yeah. This is the only thing we have. And Hala, I want to say something about the huge amount of patients with new oncology patients.
Yes, the new cancer patients.
Yeah,
yes.
like
newly discovered
a lot of
patients.
lung masses that we cannot. We don't have a pathology lab like for diagnosis. A lot of UV
don't
cancer.
Have biopsy,
A lot of kidney cancer. It's colon cancer. It's like and leukemia, lymphoma.
Yes,
how many patients you face with leukemia and lymphoma every day?
Disastrous. Yes. The huge number of oncology patients, the old and the newly discovered oncology patients,
they die before
with no treatment. With no treatment, they are. The whole world is letting them facing death.
Yeah.
Just waiting for their death.
Yeah. Like don't forget
and it's a slow death
problem.
It's a slow death and it's very torturing for them and for their family. It's very difficult for people of Gaza to die in such a way.
Yeah,
I feel sometimes that we are dying by every way, just by bombing.
Yeah, you even cannot call it a prison.
By diseases.
You cannot call it a prison. No, it's worse than prison. Like you are sieged, but you don't have the right of health. You don't have the right of safe life. You are threatened all the time. This is not a human life.
I remember at a time in the war, I used to have access to some medication just in the pharmacy of the hospital. So I used to like stuck in some medication like antibiotics and chronic diseases medication,
Yeah.
because I always at that time have a fear that if anyone of my family get sick, I was afraid to not have the medication,
Yeah.
the right medication for them.
And this is happening actually.
So I stuck some medication in a bag and put it there, I never use them because I always
I don't
think
think
that
you have them now.
someday I will use them. Someday
and
I will
you did
need.
use them. I
And,
know you
yes.
did. Yeah.
Yes,
I know.
after displacement, of course, I needed them and I used them.
Like Hala, like deambation type 1, like
Insulin.
insulin. You don't have insulin pens.
Yeah.
Like there's a shortage in Lantus and Abidra, yeah, all the time. So they have to use Mixtard, which is not the treatment for them.
And sometimes even mixed are not available.
Yeah, and sometimes even Mixtard, like the hypothyroidism, like Mercaptazole, BTU, not available.
Yeah.
And we face this all the time. Antiarrhythmic drugs, we are not available. It's not. It's the lowest thing they can do. They can bring us the medication for chronic diseases. They also cut this off.
Yeah.
You don't understand why we should face all
Types
of
of death.
Yeah.
All types of death. Yeah. So, if you can describe Gaza in few words, how you can describe it now and how you can describe it before the war? I feel like you answered me about how you can describe it. Now you say it's a prison. It's a prison.
It's not a prison. It's
where you are
worse.
deprived from all your rights. Right to live, right to live, right to have health care. Or what?
No, it's not like a prison. It's like إيش يعني مسلخ؟ Slaughter. Gaza now, it's like a slaughterhouse to me. It's a prison and a slaughterhouse. It's nothing less than that to me.
Yeah.
Gaza before, it's like the dream. This is what يعني الرمال. I want to go back with time and walk with my friends in Rimal
One more
town.
time.
One more time, yeah.
Yeah.
This is what I want. The dream. Gaza, the old Gaza is a dream.
Yeah. I think that Gaza was alive and it's now like a dying body. Yeah, they suck the life out of Gaza. So at the end, I just want to ask you if you have anything to say to the people, if you have a message you want to deliver to the whole world, to the people who are listening and to the people who are caring about us. What do you want to speak to them? What do you want to say to them?
I think the message is clear, and I think that we want the world not to turn their head off us, and they should keep up with us. They should do their best, the best they can do, just to end this crisis we live every day. They shouldn't stop thinking about happening with us, and they shouldn't continue their life like there's nothing happening, because again, this is not our problem. This is a human crisis that no one or no human being should continue their life while they know that there is another human being suffering all this thing, like dying because the scarcity of oxygen in hospital, or the scarcity on food in 2024. Like, this is the century of human rights, and we talk about it every day in every interview. Everyone talking about the human lives, rights, like, and this is happening, and you continue your life and continue lying.
Something wrong in humans.
Yeah, you should know that there's something wrong, and yes, there's 100%. There's something wrong in your conscience if you choose to continue your life and not give a damn about us.
Yeah.
There's something wrong in your conscience.
For me, I want to say, don't forget us. Our lives matter.
Yeah.
Our life matter as any other life in this planet.
Yeah. Like,
We are equals. We are all humans, and every little life over the youngest children here in Gaza is worth enough to do all what you can, to do the impossible, just to stop this war and to save his life.
yeah.
I want to talk about just your GoFundMe, if you want to share it. At the end, I just want to tell people about your GoFundMe link. We want to share it with you people, and please share it as possible as you can. Share it with your family and your friends, and with the people of free consciousness and free hearts. Samah has done it to continue her life, to pursue her dream to become a doctor, to continue her postgraduate studies in UK, and to help her family have a better life. Her mother and father, who struggled a lot in their life to Samah become a doctor, she wants now to pay them back by providing them a better life. So please, people, share and help and donate, and we will share the link with you. Thank you for listening, and thank you for caring.